Don't talk shit. I've just woken up. I don't appreciate crap coming from little crapsters the minute I wake up. Don't do that. Okay? What's your owner of this apartment? I've just woken up. My name is JAYA.ADVANI or Jaya. Okay? Every time either call me Miss Advani or call me Jaya. Just had tea, you little bitch. You see that? You see this? Swine. I just had my tea. So that's the leftover. I wouldn't want you to talk shit from that little dick. So don't talk shit all the time. Crap about me. You're very irritating. And don't bring your crappy little sunken teeth on my face. You understood? You rat. Don't do that. Understand one thing. When people work in my home, the servants, they're very discreet. That's the kind of staff JAYA.ADVANI's father, Kani.ADVANI, always keeps. That's why we pay the extra. Hiring people like Bertila from Regina Pacious, because they're supposed to be discreet on a pay, do their fucking job and move out of our way. And when they move on, they fucking move on. They don't latch on. So if the staff of my home is more discreet than you, then you really enslaved beggars, desperados, get a fucking life and not at my home. You understood? This is what you did to me in 2017. All this is 3 attacks that you've done on my face starting from the time I was how old? 16 years old? FIJC, the Friendship Day, the Chocolate Day, and whatever other celebrations we have, lots and lots of celebrations. So very popular in the first year of college. 16 years old, turn 17, and my full face is fucked up. So much that in a very downpour, raining, grey day, at 7:38 in the morning in HR college, economics is going on as a class. There's a podium she's standing on. The classroom is a hall. It fits 120 students. That particular day, half the amount of students have turned up because of the heavy downpour. I'm sitting in the middle of the classroom, of that hall. She points out to me and says, "Hey, you girl with the red face," to bring it to my notice how much you had fucked my face up. That even in 2-3 tube lights, a grey day where it is gloomy and a heavy downpour, she could still see the redness on my face and all that lack of light. So you want to know what you have done? That was the first time you attacked. Second time was 3 days before the ISKCON event happened, 2002. The first one was when? 1990 to 1991. That was the first event. Second, and then whenever we use soap on our face, it burns our face. You were mixing something into the soap. You're desperate, spit-worthy shit. That is how you took my identity 1996 and went abroad, got married to men who are rich, fucked all of them over, Reardo entered yourself into all businesses and moved the businesses to crap. You stink and you steal. You stink and you steal. My pendulum says you are ex-servants of my home. Vatsala, that bitch, is one. She and her network. Rosie Fernandez and her 4 children consciously do this kind of work. The old bhaiya who used to cook really well, he's part of this network of stealing shit. Padri, who was an old-time bhaiya for Nishu auntie, is also part of the heist. Saroj is part of the East. You remember what is common between Vatsala and Saroj? Saroj first joined our home. She went and had an affair with those guys. One looks like Sallu, the third guy who turned up only once in our home, really short, fair-faced guy. And the two tall guys with a big hairdo, better looking, who refused to finish the work of sliding windows at our door, at our home. They had to do the entire Fort Jaswell 1400 square feet or 1200 square feet. They had to do the sliding windows, taking in all the balconies, and they were supposed to finish it within maybe 3 months. It went on for more than, or they were supposed to finish it in 1.5 months. They took it on to 4 months or something of that sort. It went on and on and on because one of those bastards was having an affair with this woman called Saroj, who has no ethics, morals whatsoever, just like Estella from Regina Pacis. She's supposed to be a high-level criminal from the 70s. So what does she do? She tries feeding my father a spoon of medicine when he's sick, and he tells her to get out, leave the bottle, keep the medicine, don't touch it. Just leave the bottle of water with the glass and move. Don't do more than that. She goes and has an affair with his workers, who he's hired to do the sliding window. She runs away with him, one of those workers. He puts her up in some place in Muhammad Ali Road or then Abdul Rahman Street. Keeps her there, gets her pregnant. It's a one-room rickety tenement in wooden structure. Has an affair for 2-3 months, leaves her and moves on. And she comes back to our home and wants the job back at my home. Look at the shamelessness of the woman. How old am I at that time? I could be 11, 12 years old. Still going to school at Fort Convent. That's the 1980s. Now, what is it about Saroj that you'd like to know? A very cheap woman with no ethics. She has a red dress, 2 of them. Those 2 red dresses, what does she do? It has flowers on it. She exchanges it and wears it every day. She has mass clotting happening on her cloth, is what she says. They're not good people. They're the ones who are shape-shifting for Trump, Putin, and Namo Namo, my pendulum has confirmed. They have no ethics. They're not to be trusted even a little bit. They're the ones who have been picked up from India, routed through India, them and that network, along with Regina Pacis. They beat elderly people, they rape elderly people, they murder elderly people, and they want to grab property that doesn't belong to them. So desperate, they've involved the blacks of Africa while doing so. So I'm recording this so you can hear it. I've been saying it, but I don't know if it reaches you. Second is Vatsala, who turns up in my home to work. She's a 55-year-old. Saroj is still about 28 or 25, don't know, 25, 28, 50, not even sure how old she is. She's younger. So she wears 2 red dresses with those flowers. Then comes Gangaram. Apparently Gangaram is not part of their East. That's what the pendulum said. Then comes Vatsala. Vatsala is a middle-aged lady. Her older daughter is already married. She already has a son-in-law. Her kids are already married, and her in-laws are already part of her setup. And every time I come from school, they're all squatting, about 5 of them or 6 of them in my kitchen, and she's forever siphoning things and giving it to them. We don't mind, to tell you really frankly. But then there's a day when I have slept in the night wearing my dadi's gold chain as a gift from my father, because I wanted the gold chain. So he gave me my dadi's gold chain, passed it on to me. Next day I wake up in the morning, it is lost. So it was stolen from my neck when I was sleeping. Since she's the only one who's the full time in the night, there's nobody else. The rest of them come and go. Obviously, the suspicion falls on her, but we didn't do a big deal of it, left it and moved on. Those are the ethics. What is it with Vatsala? She has 2 red saris with big flowers on it. So that's the connection of the red to the flowers. There is one version of In Rotation JAYA.ADVANI, Cholina Undulani. red and white dress, who holds her dress from the middle of the, she holds it at a particular point in front of her body, whereas other people courtesy holding the dress from the side, or they pick up their gown not really holding it from the midpoint in front of the gown. Nobody does that. Varsha has done that. You see it in my 11th birthday after we've come back from America. You see her in the red gown again doing the same thing when she's at Chamat's wedding, except now she looks like Grimes, but the body language gives it away. It's exactly the same thing. So the East is amongst them. Varsha Advani at birth. Estella stole Manjushri Birla's DNA. Manjushri Birla was CRISPR'd out of being a Birla and brought in to be an Anita Advani. She and my father never got along because she was vegetarian. She was Marwadi Gujarati. My father's an Amil Sindhi. He and my mom got along okay. But suddenly they just stopped getting along and they're only wanting to get away from each other. That's after Varsha has been born. That's 1975. Between 71 to 75, they were okay. So my pendulum said Manjushri Birla got CRISPR'd out of being a Birla and she became an Anita Advani, and she's 18 years junior to my father, 8 years junior to my mother. My mother was taken to the Dhobi Ghat at Kaf Parade. And she was taken either to a Dhobi Ghat, she was not taken to Sassoon Dock or something close to Sassoon Dock. There is a fisherman's settlement in 2-3 places in Kaf Parade. And there's a Dhobi Ghat in Kaf Parade. She was taken to something of that sort, but she was never put out to work. Who you call Pauline, there was a Pauline. That Pauline died. There is a lady who was the wife of a man who ran Charag Din, a very successful local Sindhi retail business of high-end men's apparel. He was doing so well, he would have also exported it to Europe and things like that. They were doing very well in Kaf Parade. The lady's name is Esther Daswani. She had a son. I was told by Kani Advani, the fake version is what I understand in the 90s, who also talks about Pratibha and LK Advani suddenly. He also talks about the people of the family will be the last to know. He also talks about Catch Me If You Can. Between him and Ramesh Advani's identity, who's a fake ID, they start talking about the servants who worked in our home from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But mostly 50s, 60s, 70s, and they stopped talking the normal stuff about the setup of my dadi, her friends, their relatives, her upbringing, my grandpop's upbringing, the kids and how much interaction their kids had with each other, or then with the best friends' kids. They stop all that. Now the focus is what? On those who used to work for the Advanis, whether it was Lakshmi Advani at Pune or it is Kalavati Hukumatrai Advani in Bombay. So the conversation changes. When you see all factors put together, it's a different take. You realize that the pendulum is telling the truth, that the original Advanis had been murdered or had been pulled out of their life, brain control sent out in society, and crap had been brought in, and the crapsters know who they are. All of them want an equitable India, but then don't you know laws of India? Why did you make it a spiritual place? You don't know what the spiritual laws are? You don't know what the scriptures say? You should have just packed your bags and gone off to Switzerland, settled over there, or gone to China and settled over there, instead of stealing, murdering, massacring, bringing in a crowd that rapes, hits old people. Yes, that's what they've done. You know who the most recent person is? At Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, and Punjab. You know who's the most recent? Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy, who was murdered 2022. Her husband paralyzed waist downwards. Connected with her mother in Andhra Pradesh is what the pendulum says was raped, was hit and murdered. Are you aware of it? Do you even care? when her husband has been hanging out with that toxic version of Madhav E. Reddy, who's a bitch. She's from Africa, a real bitch. She was so toxic with him, he has cried on the phone, called the mother to pick him up from Chennai or from Tamil Nadu. The bitch has asked for his 2 properties, only then will she let the son go back with the mother. The mother refused and the son stayed back in Bangalore. You know why she turned up over here? Yes, didn't she come to the police with a property issue twice? That was a fake ID of Madhav E. Reddy. You gave her name tags. There are 10 women who shapeshifted into Purva Palm Beach, 2023, 2024. Bhartila, that bloody bitch, maid servant, is part of it. वो अंकल गौतम ई और पवित्रा से बात करती है. शी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट किरण मर्चेंट जो एग्नेलो फर्नांडिस है. अब फ्यू मंथ्स के अंदर अगर चूतिया जो है द रियल मिसेस माधव ई रेड्डी का रियल हस्बैंड टॉक्सिसिटी से भर के उसको रुलवाए, तो असली किरण मर्चेंट को 2000 साल के अंदर पनवेल न्यू बॉम्बे के एरिया विच वॉज नॉट येट डेवलप, उसको अंडरग्राउंड कहीं पे वहाँ पे लेके जाके दे केप्ट हिम अलाइव फॉर 9 years. From 2000 to 2009 the guy suffers from Asperger's. Suddenly in 2007-8, don't you tell me on the phone as Anita Merchant, I think Kiran uncle is suicidal. He's looking very suicidal. I hope he does not commit suicide. The guy suffers from Asperger's, and he is a saint, he's a sant, he's a saintly quality. He doesn't want to fight. It took you 7-8 years to bring him to that point. What you brought Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy's husband in a few months or within a year. It took you 7-8 years to get Kiran, the real Kiran Merchant, held underground. It took you 7-8 years to bring him to that point. You finally murdered him in 2009. The fake version of Kani Advani calls Kiran Merchant very dim. He's actually very unintelligent and he's laughing about it at Forge as well. Whereas Kani Advani, if I know his behavior, he doesn't talk about anybody. So that was the fake Kani Advani 2007-8-9 who wants to grab Ravi Kiran property. How much of a mess did you create between Ravindra Merchant and fake Kiran Merchant to elongate a case that was 500 crores of a property? A will from a grandfather dividing it between 2 brothers. How many shapeshifters did you bring in to the Bombay High Court and create 17 years of litigation on the back of shapeshifting and steal that property, leave it in the hands of the underworld with the help of Bombay police and constables of Bombay? How much network have you done in the Bombay hospitals for siphoning off bodies and replacing them when they go for treatment? How much of it have you done everywhere? You spit-worthy stench of the universe. So anyway, I have recorded whatever I have to say. The pendulum, I am not recording their sessions, but the sessions have not started. The sessions are still telling the truth of what you are all about. Vatsala, Shitsala, Titsala and crap. Saroj, wo jo bhaiya hai. Anita fake, Anita Merchant today, you are only wearing the ego of Anita Advani, Anu Sadangani, who you call Pauline. But that's not Pauline. Get your history check corrected. The first Pauline died, the original by the womb. In her place was Esther Daswani, Chirag Din's wife, who also lives in Cuff Parade. Their business also was in Cuff Parade, old Cuff Parade. I used to take my dad shopping over there, so we know it pretty well. They are also Sindhis. Her son was thrown out for drug issues out of his inheritance. That also was brought to my notice by fake Kani Advani during the time when I told you he started with Ramesh talking different stuff from what I have been exposed to as talk in the Advani family from the elders and the extended network of what all they speak about. That's from 73. You take it to 76 because we understand from 76 what's being spoken. All the way to maybe 1991, 92. The conversation changes and you bring L.K. Advani in. My pendulum says you murdered the real Sanjeev Rajan Lekhraj 1995 end. Jihad, jihad, we don't do jihad, you fucker. We are born free into business homes. Third generation educated in convents. What jihad we are going to fight for? It is our community, whether it is Hiranandani, whether it is Shahani, whether it is Advani, whether it is Gidwani, whether it is Jagtiani. They're the ones who created the colleges in South Bombay. They did so much fucking donation to South Bombay, nobody talks about it. Because that's cheap. So if we do donation to people who want education, they can't afford it. Or they want to move into India and they can't afford it. They don't have much money on them. Like Kiran uncle gives, his father had so many chawls given to the chawl people who can't afford otherwise housing at low rent. They live in the chawl and finally what happens? You can't take it back from them. That's how the donation is done. You call that jihad, but that's not jihad. That is trying to financially help somebody in case they don't have the finances legally. If somebody like my bhaiya, when he has started working with us, what happened? His wife was very sick. She needed to be hospitalized into Bombay hospital for 2-3 months. Who's going to pay the money for it? My dad did it. Does he know whether the bhaiya will work or not? No, he doesn't know. He's day 2 on the job. And these guys leave at any pretext. So you don't know whether he's going to work or not, but he has a genuine problem. My dad gave the money. He didn't think about it. So that's what my community does. It's not called jihad. So I'm born on the side, and then whoever it is who's taking the bloody donation, there's a rotten apple amongst them. They don't want the handouts. Now they want to be the king itself. This is how they started massacring in our society, giving us a bad name, and then going on for bigger things. Today they have gone all the way into shape-shifting into Putin's camp. Namo's camp, that's a fake ID. And Trump's camp. And Elon's camp has rough neighborhood people. Buckingham Palace का तुम्हारा जो Prince King Charles है, you know what the best part about that guy is? He's wearing the ego of an Advani. He's wearing an ego of an Advani, the so-called king. Who else is wearing the ego of the Advani? Your Putin. At times, Putin wears the ego of Advani, and so does your King Charles. You know what is about his Prince William? Suddenly his face is resembling Ashish Bhatia. And you've called him a Hindu. His mother's so dead. The real guy must be dead, along with his mother Diana. Never you have discussed that they have some Indian genome in them. Suddenly you've gone and said, no, there are traces of Indian Hindu genome in them. Because you steal. You're cheap. So what is the coincidence कि आशीष भाटिया का जो ego है Prince William पे तो डाले. You go and put the identity on Prince William with Ashish Bhatia's face. That guy is no more the chikna guy from HR college. The dark guy with the red skin that he left off in exchange, proxy for him when he went to America in the 90s. That chap is connected with all criminal activity. Absolute stench. All this is 420 business by those bastards. Why you are putting the ego with your own bloody fucking ugly face and shitty birth? Why you can't ace it? Why you have to wear ego of people you stolen from, genomes of people you stolen from, and sit and cut our genes, who you have stolen from? If you're not a haram khor, what the fuck are you? You are shit. The true atmic shit is you. And the more romance you have with shit, you bloody bitch. Shit piss vomit. The way you did through fake NDA, non-disclosure agreement for killed, murdered, massacred BJP people along with the Congress people. Creating UP and NDA, all bloody criminal activity, handshaking assholes. Now you took Kejriwal underground just recently because you're planning to replace Modi with him. But that also will be one of you. Criminal-minded, terrorist-related, Naxal and militant people will be plugging your people CRISPR'd into the Aam Aadmi Party. The military itself is in shambles in India. You don't know who is who. My pendulum has confirmed it. How many people? So what you have done is you brought in the Chinese, the Korean into India. There's a Korean who's passed off as a Bihari for 7 years. Nobody caught him. You took the Marathi and put them in Europe and in Pakistan to play both roles, telling the Marathi that they are getting freedom along with the Dalits. You took from India, plugged them elsewhere. You took from elsewhere, plugged them into India and elsewhere. Everybody thinks they are fighting a great cause for making their own country great. You took the poor Middle Easterners and the poor Eastern European and West Asia and spread them around the world. All of them think that they are working for the greatness of their own country, but all of them are actually pawns on the chessboard run by that one fucking bitch at the center point. And when you're going to get rid of them, playing each one against the other, they don't even know about it. But that's what you have done all these years, at least 1,000 years before this time. This plan of the First World War, Second World War, Third World War, you had already put it in the blueprint before you started the First World War. The banking system, which is Rothschild, you allowed him to start the banking system riding the wave of the World War, but you didn't allow him to survive. Once he set it in place, you got rid of him, made him an example for genomes, genetics, and spread their children in your horrendous experiments around the world. You are that stench who steals even from Rothschild, and you have done so. Trash of the universe. When you created the First World War, you brought in the industrialization, Second World War banking system. You have created the Third World War, but the preparatory time that you've given people from goods and services, industrializing it and digitizing it, throwing lots of people out of their jobs. What did you do, you fucker? Don't try to shut it off, mother choth. You recruited them only, first bringing them to poverty, inciting them, and then putting them to work without them realizing it to destroy themselves further. Birla made a lot of money on the back of the industrialization. In the next leg up, you got rid of them only and plugged your own people in because you allowed them to grow. In the banking industry also, you've done the same thing. In the technology industry also, you have done the same thing. So you took work out of those garage guys who started small in San Francisco. Once it was baked to the level you wanted it, you forwarded it to Silicon Valley, Bangalore, getting rid of those old guys in LA and San Francisco. Now you're in the process of murdering people in technology here in Bangalore, Silicon Valley. You're going to forward it to Andhra Pradesh. But that is a temporary stop because actually your final stop is China. China for the Asian region, Africa for the Middle Eastern region, Europe, Middle East to Africa, and South America for Canada, North America and South America. Something over there is the central region for your digitization. All of them high-level criminals who worked for robotization, stealing ego, creating the humanoid, creating the robotics. But you know what? That is all gimmicks. If I have understood the bastard well enough, the Third World War, which he's going to shove down your throat, connected with the criminal bastards that he's put to work in the countries I just mentioned, the way he has spread them, plugging them, cross-pollinating amongst countries, but his own silent network of very impoverished people. The Third World War is to throw everybody off the board so that the human being can be robotized. If a nano chip chipped in your brain at birth can make the human being do everything that the control freak wants, he is not the greedy control freak wants. He is not going to spend a penny on wires, on prosthetics, on plastic, on manufacturing robots. All that is a very high cost. That is gimmicks to keep you entertained. Otherwise, you would eat him up alive if you knew what he plans to do with you. It is, what he is showing you is, and he calls it a simulation. Actually, that's the modeling. So when we have an infrastructure project, you have a huge community residential project, the builder first does a model. He puts everything on display. But the construction that he does and the people who buy it is nothing like the model. The robotics you see from China, Korea, Boston Robotics, that's all just the modeling. The humanoid you saw is just the modeling, is to keep you entertained. The human being 64 crore. Bhavishya Malik Ka. Malik means God. Bhavishya means the future. Ka means of. Kal means tomorrow. Ki is of. So if I talk about it, Kalki, what they are presenting, premature, 427,000 years premature to when this timeline has to change. It's a dark timeline. Right? Kali Yuga is the age of darkness. So see how cheap they are, how desperate they are. With no two thoughts, they have let you know Kalki, they put it on Vishnu's new avatar, which is bullshit. The word Kalki means of tomorrow. Bhavishya Malika, where they are telling you, oh, a new change is going to come, 64 crore people are going to be left behind. And those 64 crore people, once the war comes to an end, you are so lucky, you will go back to looking young. Actually, those people are clones of dead people. Them going back to their young age is because they are actually very young. Shirdi Sai Baba keeps saying, act in accordance to your age, so that they pick up like the terrorists, plant them around the world. Already brain chip, brain controlled, looking older than they are. To stand in for dead people, those are the 64 crore people. They've been promised they'll go back to their young looks once this time is over. That is nothing but fooling around with CRISPRing and genetics and genomes. What they don't understand is they are brain controlled, on the back of which they themselves are going to become the robot. What does Bhavishya Malik Ka mean? They put it on Jagannath Mahaprabhu. Like he doesn't know his own timeline. They're going to decide his timeline. First and foremost, the word Malik is actually a Muslim name, I think. It's a family name of, I think, Islam people. Now, Bhavishya Malik Ka. Bhavishya means the future. Malik means, I think, God or the head. And Ka is of. So the future of the head, or the future of the boss, or the future of God, of tomorrow. This is how they have played it and fed it to you on YouTube many times in the form of astrologers who are actually, they're linked to terrorism, I think, because the original astrologers are no more. But think of how much influence the astrologers actually have over people. You think they are the original astrologers and you listen to what they say. But if they are not, how are they influencing the masses? Tare zameen pe, sitare zameen pe, and a sky full of stars. Tare zameen pe means the stars on the floor. Sitare zameen pe is silver screen stars on the floor. A sky full of stars, James Blunt. All of them removed and sent away home. So do you understand why we don't have movies the way they used to be? Hollywood, Bollywood movies, we don't have so many of them like they used to be. Instead, that influence and that cult has moved to the Aam Aadmi, to the common man. How? Via social media. YouTubers make how much money for videos they put out? But ideally, those videos used to come from where? A big 80mm screen, which you go and see on YouTube, that used to be the star in the movie. You don't have any of it happening. You have very less music also coming out. What you have coming out, you really don't know who they are. Because lots of people routed through India from very toxic lands, impoverished lands, uneducated lands, have CRISPRed themselves and gone in foreign lands. On Hindu festivals in India, they are raping the Hindu majority in India. On Muslim festivals, they are raping the Hindu majority in India, making it look like the Muslims are doing it. On Muslim holidays, they are raping the Hindus. On Hindu holidays, they are raping the Muslim women. The one who's doing this is neither Muslim nor Hindu. They are the third party who plugs everybody from different parts of the world to different parts of the world, making them think that they are going to be doing something great for themselves, their community and their country. Yes, plug them all over the world. He's planning to get rid of all of you fuckers, especially the Indian fucks. Chutiye, they are planning to get rid of you, mother chot. It's a build up to the Third World War. Suddenly you find out you are dead, don't be surprised. लेकिन जिसने ऐसे घटिया कर्म किया है, तो कहाँ जाते हैं पता चलेगा. Wake up from your sleep. फिर पता चलेगा where you have earned it the long term. समझी? Cheap. Anyway, this is how much I had to say, simply because if from here you can take it forward to understand what it is yourself, it's good for you. Okay? I've had it with this bloody crappy bastards. And Kosh's identity, Koshi Gupta's identity is a question mark. I have been shown Koshi Gupta walking like Sallu. Sallu he's fair. You see? Fair and chikana. That boy can cross-dress to be a woman also. After all, he's an actor. He's not very tall. He's about 5'5". I have been shown Koshi Gupta, who's actually my father's sister. She's only done her home science. She's a very simple lady. They removed her in 80s only. Don't know what they've done with her. I have no idea. But I was shown Sallu in the dream. Koshi Gupta in my dream is standing like Sallu, where he's walking in the front and all the men have to follow. And very egoistical, which is not what my aunt is. I don't think so. But if the boy shapeshifts for my aunt, that short little shit. Putin is 5'3" in height. You can't bang Sallu's head to make him 5'3". 5'3" shit can be a 5-foot woman. So they put bandage. They flatten the chest and they stand in front of you like men on stilts. They're capable of doing that. Arseholes. They got a fucking vagina and they stand in front of you like a fucking man. So my aunt you cannot knock her head to make her Putin. Can't do that. But my other aunt, she's 5'1" in height. Don't know if she can go 5'3" to become Putin or Binu bane. But not the Sadrangani Binu. Not the real one. Third party. Who would have fucked with Binu, fucked with Anu Sadrangani, fucked with Koshi Gupta, fucked with Kailash Hingorani, with everybody. Wo bani. That is possible. We are a zamindar family. यहाँ पे shape shifting करके हमको कुछ नहीं मिलता है, हमारा नाक कटता है. Nobody would do that from my setup. Nobody needs to do that. Third party, how you have plucked people from China and Korea and brought them to India. And taken people, Marathis from India, along with the Dalits, and put them in Europe and put them in, where you put them? Pakistan. अब बॉम्बे की लड़की, वो लड़की जो है, don't make me look cockeyed, you fucking bastard. Don't keep making my eyes cockeyed. Don't do that. I'm not a cockeyed girl. Stupidity personified. Don't make my eyes cockeyed, you ass. That girl who is, what's her name? क्या है? I can't remember what her name is in Pakistan to London. जैसे काम करती है, like as if she's been trained in Bombay to catch the local train after she has done all the household work, goes to work, comes back and still does her home household work after she's gone to the office work. You have plugged her in Pakistan. There are many Pakistani Sindhi boys you are murdering and grabbing the wealth in the name of marriage, christening yourself to be Sindhi Pakistani, and vice versa, you are doing it to the girls. Let me show you what you have done. You're an asshole. Banshit. यहाँ पे शादी है, यहाँ पे शादी दिखता है. Actually, all these people had one eye out. I had to paint it myself and give this bugger a dadi. I spent $5,000 for this with one eye missing on all of them. Come on, show their face. All these eyes you see, I have painted myself. She's the bride. That's the groom. They're getting married. These are all fakes. All cockeyed assholes. Who I had to paint their eyes into place and lips into place. What happens to her after she gets married? She ends up this way. Given for an experiment for money. Her parental dowry also stolen. Have a look. Enjoy. This is what you have helped. Look at her hands. Look at her hands. This is what you have done behind the scene from the 70s. And in India from the 80s. The Third World War is nothing but a criminal network to decimate and leave behind 64 crore clones on Earth, already set for the brain control. Many of the elderly who were raped, hit, murdered. They are replaced by youngsters. You should ask your fucking self, when you have terrorist camps, what is the spend out to run those terrorist camps? One bomb blast every second day is enough to keep them alive? Where does their money come from? Where do they sustain themselves? When these guys steal, they lie, they rape, they grab, they don't have in them anything to make payment. So how are they running those fucking camps, Naxal camps, militant camps? Why has no intelligence asked it? How dumb is dumb? And when I question these things on my channel with the pendulum, because I don't want to say anything in my own right, I'm not part of all this. But I can't help it if 2015 and onwards, I've been told to talk. 2020, I was told to do the Scrabble throw. I was told to do the pendulum work. And from there, yes, no chits to communicate. I can't help it, so I do. But then the downloads also are huge. How come people in law and order wearing uniform have not addressed this? And why is the common man grappling with so much terrible deeds happening in individual homes? The lady who has recently been very badly treated for your Eid, not that it is the Muslim who has done that to her. It is a special group of people. And that group of people, some of them were hired, ex-people who have worked in our home in the 70s, hired by the miscreant for a quick leg up in society, sent away abroad also. Kingfisher also, it is the Dalits who have entered over there, pretending to be lots of things they are not, on the back of which they stole. You don't know that? How many people are involved in giving people visas, passports and making them go to other places? Nobody in your chain of authority could find out who they were. There is so much mass migration. You don't know? How can you not know? How can you not know? So have you agreed to take upon you mass murder in crores and billions of people, leaving behind 64 crore people for your new start? Packaging it as a third world war, but the blueprint was in place even before the first world war happened. First was industrialization of goods. That was Japan, electronics, India's cloth business. Birlas are part of it. You got rid of Manjushri Birla. Once they make the money, you retract the money. You CRISPR other outsiders to unscrew the family that makes the money. And you move that money into the next business, which was banking services. That was Rothschild. Rothschild for so much Second World War, and Hitler too. You created Hitler, you got rid of Hitler. At the same time, you stole from the rich Jews. You got all the other Germans who were not Nazis to scatter around the world. You got the Nazis to scatter around the world. On the back of the confusion, you retracted the money. You did the same thing in India on the Namo Namo, whatever change you brought in government, but you got rid of Congress. First Sanjay Gandhi, then Indira Gandhi, then Rajiv Gandhi, then you started building in India. So far, you have been using shitty tactics to retract money from India and siphon it off. Tatas have been affected, Shapoorji Pallonji has been affected, United Breweries, you converted into United Services Limited. That is the way you siphon money and then merge it into a global platform. You did it with Jabong, you did it with Mindtree. There are so many businesses that you allowed to grow and then you took back the money and you have siphoned this country off. That is the truth. How come no one can identify it? Next, you are going to do Africa. But what is it that you are giving Africa? What is their problem? Slavery? What is Africa's problem? Slavery? You have started developing it. When you retract from them, what are you going to give them in return? Since you dealt with their problem, allowed them to grow, gave them the taste and experience of being rich, when you take from them, what are you giving them in return? Brain control? That's the third leg. And that's what the plan is. So anyway, if you can put what I've told you together, if you have an analytical brain and you're not stamped down, you keep talking about the Yuva. The Yuva, even if JAYA.ADVANI was cloned 7, 7, 10, 10, 11, every Shalina Hundlani is a fake ID, some good, some bad. You use that for rotation because that was a marriage between two parties The girl got married to the boy. They didn't know too much of each other. In marriages, neither party interfere too much. There are always problems in marriages. The settling period is what you take advantage of. The honeymoon is where you get rid of people. My reading, or I don't do reading now, whatever little from the pendulum I'm talking, Radhika Merchant, you have already put her in rotation. The diamond merchant's daughter who got married to Anant Ambani, you've already put her in rotation. There's another girl called Radhika Kurana, Girija Kurana's older sister. Her also you have affected and removed her. Jay's mother. Says my reading. Anant is a fake ID. Mukesh Ambani is dead. He's no more. Recently, Mukesh Ambani met with Anil Ambani to find out what that interaction is. Always when the fakes come on the scene, they go to the other members and then there's always an exchange that happens. Siddaramaiah has resigned from here. But Siddaramaiah's lunch with DK Shivakumara, you need to find out what really happened in that lunch. Because they're very quick at exchanging people, taking people underground. Before the lunch, they already study everything for a few years, have a replica in place. It takes them 2 minutes to replace. Now recently he is resigned yesterday. Why has he resigned? For what? Maybe he doesn't know how to handle the CM's job. In DK Shivakumara's places, Agnello Fernandez, Kira, coming and going, Kiran Merchant, your body language like a pune gives you away. Cheap as bloody fucking hell. You change the police in Bangalore for what? So when you are siphoning up the senior professionals of the technology firms or mid-level professionals from whom you want to grab, retract the brain, move it to your manufactured shit, and then move this business to where? Andhra. But Andhra is going to keep it for a little while. Why did you murder after raping and beating up the real Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy's mother, who the fake ID, Afro, along with Bhartila, Vartila shit, crap, they've taken 75 Regina Pasch's shit and rotated them around the world, CRISPR'd all the way into your Putin's camp, into Elon's camp, into Trump's camp. Is the same shit in rotation. They have passed through my home at Fort Jaswell before getting those fuck all jobs. Sachai hai, it's the truth. Also Namo Namo's camp. Crap. Didn't the fake Afro-toxic shit 2023-24, didn't she ask for property and not allow the invalid real Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy's husband, who they only got into an accident, did not allow him to go with his mother because he was crying on the phone, says my read, I don't know it myself. She came to fetch him twice. They sent her back to Chennai unless she doesn't transfer 2 properties in the fake ID of Madhav E. Reddy. Then she went with Madhav E. Reddy's mother back to Andhra Pradesh to get the mother to transfer property in her name. Which I asked the pendulum, it says no, she didn't do that. Do you know what they did to her in this Eid that went 3 days ago? They celebrated it over 4 days. They raped her, they hit her, and finally they murdered her. She's not the only woman. Do you know they did that in Delhi and Punjab? To women. That's how they celebrated Eid, pretending that it is a Muslim issue. But they have done this on Muslim festivals to Muslim women where the Muslim majority is. They are called digital nomads. Shutiye. Actually, they are third-party criminal shit, thrashy bastards. For everything that goes off in the world, what these bastards do, they have no religion, they're brain control freaks. They pretend to be the opposite of the religious festival that's happening worldwide. The majority of the religious festival, they rape the children, the mothers, the sisters, the daughters, the grandmothers, and murder them. Then if it is a Muslim thing, they'll do that to the Muslim women pretending to be Hindu. If it is a Hindu festival, they will do that to the Hindus pretending to be Muslim, taking advantage of things. So this time it was no. If it is a Hindu festival, they will do that to the Muslims. The majority side, let's say it is Diwali in India, Dussehra in India. They will go to Pakistan, they will go to Saudi. They'll catch the Muslim women over there and do the same thing to them, making it look like it's a Hindu issue, but it is not. Then when it is a Hindu festival, like this time it was Bakri Eid. Now, so it's a Muslim festival. They came to India, caught a whole lot of whoever they have revenge against. They have studied those families from past. They caught the Hindu women who had nothing to do with anything, did what I told you, which is rape, hit, slap, beat, murder, grab, making it look like the Hindus were hit by the Muslims who are celebrating the Muslim festival. Neither the Hindus nor the Muslims actually do this. Both have got affected. That who's doing this is that Regina Pacis, Vatsala, has shaken hands with Saroj. I was told with Estella, who stole Manjushri Birla's genome DNA when she was brought in to be who? She was brought in to be Anita Merchant. Which year? She was brought in to be my mom. Miss Maid Servant, with your ugly face, do not bring your face over my face. You are part of the yeast that stinks and steals. Bartila, from Regina Pacis, along with the fakes that Katkabai from Sunbeam Chambers, Fernandez's daughter, 10 little bitches who shapeshifted for dead Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy, 2023-2024. You fucking whore. You are that kind of a maid, due to which no servants are kept at my home after 2024 end. Do not keep bringing yourself for association with my home because you want to steal. You are a desperado. If for 30 lakhs and 40 lakhs you go stealing, then you would do what for my property and my identity, which is what you've been desperately doing last few years, ever since mid-2022. So don't bring your face over mine. You don't belong to my setup. You understood? Be careful. Also, Mrs. Madhav E. Reddy is no more. Karina jo hai is no more. They are all fake IDs. Or what nature I have already told you. Okay? As long as you understand I own my apartment, I am Jaya Kanayalal Hukumat Rai JAYA.ADVANI, a Zamindar's granddaughter and a business person's daughter. I live alone. And for living alone, my home's not a bad one. And no, I don't hire anybody to work in my home anymore. Yet, I think my home is doing quite a good job on its own. It's quite okay. Not bad. Not bad. I've done nothing since I've woken up at 9 in the morning. Except have tea and hang around, and then suddenly I had to go and talk about all the stuff I needed to talk about. This is my night suit. Still in my night suit. Have not had a bath. Why? You can see that empty little box. No water. Yet to fill it. So when I tell you I've done nothing, so that box is empty. 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 So I've not had a bath. When I tell you this is my pajama suit, it's my pajama suit. What's the time? I don't know. What's the time? 10:15. What's the time? 10:15. You see the watch and the clock? No sap, no sap. I don't have time for bullshit. What's the time? Does it say 10:15? I know I don't like a dirty house. I don't like a messy home because I haven't grown up in a ghetto. Some people need to understand that and understand that loud and clear. Okay? You understand where I come from and who I am. This is Parvati and Ramchand Sadrangani, my Nana Nani, mother's mother and mother's father. You understand? Educated people. Ramchand Sadrangani worked in Siemens. Don't bring your crooked teeth over mine. I don't have none of that. No brushing. Not yet. So anyway, not bad. Pretty good. Okay? Pretty decent, not bad. Nice setting. Decent setting. Neat and nice. Neat and nice. So I like things in place. I don't like bullshit. I can't stand it. Okay? Because you have been coming into my home, breaking into it, any rat, anywhere, come running. Every time I go for a snan and spoil my home, I have to close my home like this. Lock laga ke, I have to put a lock and then I have to sit and close it that way on top. They're so desperate. Sitting and shitting around my home and spoiling it each time. Useless. So just be careful. Understood? So that's my tea that I have just finished 1 hour ago. Didn't realize that the video is going to go on for 1 bloody fucking hour. So anyway, this thing has gone on for too long. I thought it would be 2 minutes. It's 1 hour. I'm closing the video. That was my tea just slowly digesting. The digestion period after the gestation period has gone over. So I'm closing this and going for a snan. Means having a bath. Okay? Getting on with my day. At 10:20 in the morning. Okay? This is JAYA.ADVANI, Jaya Kanyalal Hakumat Rai, Gurmukh Das Advani, who's over here. Not cockeyed. If you ever saw anybody cockeyed, that is somebody putting face over face and eye over eye, trying to merge their face into mine. Because they're desperados. Desperate desperados. Okay? So we're shutting this off over here.